Hello, good morning, happy Wednesday, all the things. It is Wednesday, August 15th, 16th, right? It's the 16th. It is almost 11 a.m. Whew. You guys, school started today here. Oh man, school started today. So I just feel like it's been a weird morning. I'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. But welcome to the Crazy Sock Lady YouTube channel. My name is Kay. This is my channel where I share all about my knitting, crocheting, cross-stitching, English paper piecing, whatever crafty rabbit hole I am currently down, you'll hear about. Today I just have knitting. Yeah, I think that's all I have today. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady, and I will have links right down below this video in the description box for everywhere that you can find me, as well as links to project pages for everything that I show, any shops that I talk about, all that's right down there for y'all. I almost forgot my show notes. I wrote these up yesterday and I was gonna start recording and just completely forget them. My brain is just not with it today. It is on like what is happening. It's back to school. That's just where it's at. So I have a lot of finished objects. 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of socks, a sweater, and a English paper piecing coaster. So many finished objects. I do, of course, have some works in progress. Oh, I'm realizing I forgot one. That's okay. I can show it next time. It should be a finished object then. And I have some things that I have purchased and then some things that have arrived in the mail as well. I hope you guys have your beverage of choice, some knitting, crocheting, whatever it is that you are working on, and you're ready to catch up because I was not here last week. There was no episode last week, regular episode. I was in Texas. I've used this mug every single day since I got back. I am just obsessed with it. I picked this up while we were in Texas. We went to Fort Worth. Eric had to go for a work trip. We stayed in downtown Fort Worth this time. If you've been around for a while, we went out there last summer as well. He had a work thing to do last year out there, and he was off for a couple of days, so I went for the days that he was off. We loved it out there. We love the Fort Worth stockyards. Super touristy, I know, but we love it. I'm a country girl. It's one of my favorite places. So anyways, I picked this up in the stockyards this trip at the general store, and I love it. It's a great size. It's a great mug. So yeah, hope you've got your coffee or whatever you are drinking today and you're ready to catch up. What else? Is there anything else before we jump into finished objects? Summer Sock Camp ends the end of this month. I really cannot believe that we are already mid-August. Summer Sock Camp is going to be coming to a close. Summer Sock Camp is our sock make-along. You can join at any time if you are new here and you want to join in for the last part of August. It is just knit, crochet, socks. Make some socks. All the details are in the Ravelry thread for Summer Sock Camp, and then also in a highlight on Instagram, because you can participate in one or both places if you want. We will do a couple more rounds of prizes, probably one next week, and then we'll do another one after camp closes, like our final round of prizes. I will close those threads on probably September 1st. Yeah, camp ends August 31st, so I'll close it September 1st. If you're entering over in Ravelry, that thread will close them. All right, finished objects. I finished an English paper piecing coaster, but I do not have it here to show because I gifted this to my mother-in-law. She came and stayed at our house while we were out of town and, made sure everybody, children and animals, all survived. So I gifted this to her, and I will put a picture up here. This was my very first kind of completed item with English paper piecing. So the front, I did the flower with the hexagons, and then the back, I backed it with wool felt. I had ordered some on Amazon. I'll maybe remember to link that on my Amazon storefront if anyone's interested. But I just ordered a pack of that had different colors. And I held the flower piece on top of the felt and cut around it. And then I followed, is it Vintage Sewing Box? There is a YouTube, and I will find the video and I will make sure I link it down below. I just followed her method of how she was doing it to make, it wasn't a coaster, I can't remember now what it was, but she was making something else. But I used the same method of how she sewed the wool felt backing onto the English paper piece top. And I love how it turned out. That's my plan for quite a few more coasters. I want to make one for my desk here. I would love to make a couple for the living room. We don't really have, we have a big L-shaped sectional, and we don't really have coffee tables or end tables. There's no really space for those in the room up there. So we have little trays. So I would just like to make a couple. It's usually only a few of us sitting on the sofa. So I think I'll make a couple of those that are floral, and then I have some fall and Christmas fabrics that I would love to make some coasters out of as well. I have not done any English paper piecing since before I left for Texas. I took some. I had such good intentions of doing some while I was in Texas, and I just got in such a how many socks can I finish on this trip mindset. And all I did was knit socks, other than my 30 minutes of knitting in the morning. On my anthology throw, I knit socks the entire time because Eric was at a conference all day and we were staying in the hotel where the conference was. So I would just get to see him on his breaks and lunch, and then of course in the evenings. And yeah, I just knit all day. I took my knitting with me everywhere. It was amazing. Great trip. Very relaxing. But okay, let's talk socks now because I finished a lot. So before we left for Texas, I finished this pair of scrappy socks that I started April 23rd of this year, and then I finished these on August 4th. These are just leftovers from socks that I've completed. There we go. And they turned out super fun. I did just my vanilla socks on DPN's pattern. I did 10 rounds per stripe going down the leg and the foot. And I'm very happy with how these turned out. Knit 2, purl 2 for the rib. Used US 1, 2.25 millimeter needle. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 round leg. These were a lot of fun. I'm happy to have them done though. They had been on the needles for a while and they just kept getting pushed to the bottom of my basket that I have my works in progress in. And yeah, I was like, okay, finish these off, get these done, because I'm still in that mood where I want to finish my works in progress. Okay, next finished object. I started these and I think I did like 5 rounds of the cuff. I think it was the day before we left for Texas. And then I put them aside because I wanted to have them to work on the plane ride. So the first one had been started. The morning we left, I did work on it a bit here at the house while I was waiting for it to be time to go. Then in the car ride to the airport, all of that. And I finished these. So I started them August 5th and finished them August 8th. The yarn for these, it was Chicken Coop Dye Works, and the colorway is Chadwick's Black Panther. And I bought this yarn when we went to Fort Worth last year at West 7th Wool. So I thought it was fun because I hadn't used any of the yarn that I bought last year. I thought it would be fun to work on a couple of socks with yarn that I bought last year. This is the only one that got finished. One is a work in progress. And then another one I did not even get started, but it's caked up, it's in a bag, it's ready to be my next sock cast on. Maybe. Yarnable might be my next one. We will see. But here's these. These are for my mother-in-law. They were so much fun to knit up. So again, knit 2, purl 2, rib, 25 rounds. I did a 70 round leg on this. I have not done a leg that long in quite a while, but I was on the airplane and I just got carried away. I was reading, I had my Kindle propped up on the tray, was just reading, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, how long is this leg? And I was not ripping back. So they're extra long leg here. It was kind of nice though. I used up more yarn and it just felt really good to just knit a long leg. I don't know. I just enjoy the process so much. So again, this is one of my vanilla socks patterns, the counts from that. The next one I finished was this one, and I started these on June 16th and finished them on August 8th. I should grab a blocker for these. Let me grab it really quick. Because they are a ribbed sock all over. So I'll show you one on the blocker and one not on the blocker. Because this is how it looks not on the blocker. It looks like it would not fit at all. So this is for my mother-in-law as well. This is Mountain State Stitches Sweet Nothing sock set. Yeah, they're super stretchy. This is just my vanilla socks counts. And then I did knit 2, purl 2, rib all over on the leg, knit 2, purl 2 on the top of the foot. Super, super simple. Here is what it looks like stretched out. I just love a good ribbed sock. So for these, I did 10 rounds. There's no like set cuff. It's just knit 2, purl 2 all the way down. I did 10 rounds up here in the main color, 5 rounds of the contrast, 3 rounds of the main color, and then 5 rounds of contrast. And I do have all of that noted on my Ravelry project page as well. These were a lot of fun. Contrast heel and toe on those. The last pair of socks that I finished these on the way home on the plane. Let's see. These I started August 3rd and finished August 11th. This is Homespun House. This was a colorway she did for Crazy Sock Lady Co. shop when I had that open. It is Lover of the Light. So pretty. I did do my signature pop of collar. I do have a YouTube tutorial for that. Knit 2, purl 2, rib, 25 rounds total, 60 rounds on the leg, contrast heel and toe. Just my vanilla socks. I think I did 9-inch magic loop. I'm pretty sure. I always get a lot of questions about what my favorite method of knitting socks is. Truly, I do not have a favorite method. I just, whatever I'm feeling like when I cast on. These ones were on DPNs. I don't do DPNs quite as often anymore, but I still really enjoy it. And it's just whatever I feel like. I go through phases, I feel like, with what I gravitate towards more. But yeah, I was happy to knit these up. Molly of a Homespun House, when she dyed this up, I think there were 2 colorways that she did for the shop that were inspired by Mumford & Sons songs. They are my all-time favorite band, and this was one of them, and I've been kind of saving it, so they're beautiful, and I absolutely love them. The colorway is amazing. Last finished object. Those were all the socks. Last finished object is Lily's sweater, and it's actually on the blocking mats. I didn't check it, but I'm sure it's not dry. Nope, it is not dry. I just put it out yesterday afternoon. Scooch back up. I put it out yesterday afternoon to lay out, block, whatever. So it's not dry, but I will put a picture up here. And the pattern that I used for this is the Film Reel for Children by Elena Nodell. This is for my niece Lily for her 8th birthday. And it needed to be done by this Saturday. We leave Saturday morning. Her birthday party is Saturday evening. I was like, I have to get this done. As soon as I got home and I realized that I only had a week left, it's like, oh my gosh, I've got to book it. So I got it all done. The yarn I used for this is 3 by the Sea Designs, their Stargazer Fade set. There were 5 colors. Great pattern. Absolutely loved it. One day I really want to do the adult version for myself. This one I started on June 27th and I finished it on August 15th. Yesterday. I finished the knitting August 14th that evening. Right before bed, I finished that second sleeve off. And then I wove in the ends yesterday, gave it a good soak, and laid it out to dry. I did not pin it or anything. I don't feel that it needs it. There's not really any like lace to open up or anything like that. So I just laid everything out, smoothed everything out nice, double checked all the measurements to make sure it was all good. And I think it's gonna fit great. I hope. It's such a worry for me every year. I'm like, please let it be too big. If it's gonna be anything, let it be too big, because she's only, well, she'll be 8. She's only 7, so she's still growing. Let it be too big and not too small, please. But I think it should be good. I had a ton of yarn left. So let me show you what I had left. So much yarn. There's their tag, their label. And I weighed everything yesterday so that I would know, put it all in a bag with the paper. So the least amount I had was color 5, which I expected because you do the amount of rows you need, but then you're also doing the bottom hem in color 5. So I had 51 grams left of that. The most I had left of any color was number 1, and I had 71.84 grams. So a lot left. I think I've decided down the road, because I am still finishing off works in progress, and I do have a fingering weight cardigan on the needles for me that's going to be getting pulled out here at some point and put back in the rotation. I can't decide yet if I want to pull it out now and kind of work on it, or if I want to pull it out and save it as, or like put it in the 30 minutes of knitting slot once I'm through my Advent projects. I can't make up my mind what I'm going to do. We'll see. But next year, I would love to do a sweater. This stripe sequence that I did on those socks with the pinks, and then a white bare undyed yarn for the main color, and then do the stripes like I did these. And just go through the fade. I really, really want to. I think it would be gorgeous, and I think I have more than enough yarn to do a sweater, long sleeve sweater for myself. I'm not sure what pattern I would use. Maybe the flax light. What do you guys think? Do you know of any patterns? I mean, I would just be putting in this stripe sequence, so it doesn't need to be anything crazy. I don't know if something with raglan increases would be better, or like a yoke type of increases. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any thoughts or input on that, because I'm itching to cast it on, but I'm like, you have to be good. You have to finish your works in progress while you're in this mode. At the very least, like, I need to get that other cardigan done that I'm working on. It does not have much done on it yet, though. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long I can hold out, guys. All right. That's it for works, or for finished objects, sorry. Works in progress. I am still working on my prayer shawl, the crochet prayer shawl, but I did not bring it down. I forgot to grab it. I should be done with that maybe even today. So you will see it as a finished object next week when I record. I do have a pair of socks on the go. I started these in Texas. This is in a bag from Mountain State Stitches. I have a hair clip attached. I don't even know why. This is another skein of yarn I bought when I was in Texas last year. This is Mustache yarn, and the color is Yellow Submarine. I have one done minus the heel. I'm doing an afterthought heel for these. Look how fun that is. I love how this worked up. It was so fun to see these stripes come together. So I have all of my markers down the front. I will link my Afterthought heel tutorial. It does not use waste yarn. It's just cut in Afterthought heel. It's my favorite way to do it. But I show you in that tutorial how I measure, how I mark, all the things. So I'm doing this for Eric, and I started to do a heel flap and gusset, but then I was like halfway through the heel flap, I think, and I just decided, no, you're getting an Afterthought heel. He says they fit okay. They do not fit as good as a heel flap and gusset, but he wears them and they wear fine, and he doesn't have any issues really with wearing them. I just didn't want to mess up the stripes. So I'm not sure what, I'll probably do a gray, or I don't know, I'll grab some scrap and throw it in. But yeah, one is done minus the heel. The second one, there's not a ton done on, but the cuff is finished and I'm onto the leg now. Doing these on 9-inch circulars. I think they're gonna match up pretty close. These are just my on-the-go knitting now that we are back. I just grab them if I'm not the one driving and when we go somewhere, or if I know I'm going to be waiting somewhere, need some mindless, easy knitting. I don't think there's anything else about those. Just my vanilla socks on 9-inch pattern, but then doing the Afterthought heel. My anthology throw is getting a lot of work. I did take this to Texas with me. I am on day 16 of my advent calendar now. This was a project I started back in 2022 in December during Vlogmas. If you want to go watch Vlogmas and see me start a million things and then not finish them. I'm trying to get them done now. This is using a Homespun House advent calendar from 2022, and I'm doing the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. It is on a small, I mean, it's not a super small, but the circumference of my circular needle is definitely nowhere near as big as the throw is, so you can't really see it yet, but here is day 16. I loved day 15. It felt like fall yesterday here. It was the high, I think it got up to 71. It felt amazing. And I love all the seasons, and I love when you get towards like the end of a season. We're inching towards the end of summer. I know we still have so many hot days left, I know, but you start to have little glimpses of the next season here and there. You know, you get little teaser days, and they make me so excited for the next season to come. So it felt like fall yesterday, and it was great. And this one just reminded me of fall. So this has been a lot of fun. We are doing a make-along over, looking for my marker right now as I talk. We're doing a make-along over in the Crazy Sock Lady memberships, the level 2. We have a Facebook group for that, and we're doing a make along over there for 30 minutes of making every day throughout the month of August, just to see how much progress we can make on some of our works in progress. You see that marker down there? That is where I was. I think this is kind of a guess, but I think that's where I was the beginning of August. So look at how much I've gotten done in doing just 30 minutes a day. There have been a few days I've done a little bit longer, but it's been mostly 30 minutes a day. On day 16, trucking along, loving it. I'm absolutely loving this knit. It's been so much fun, and I will be honest, I could see myself doing another one with just scraps because it's just so much fun to knit up. You have the eyelet rows, but there's a lot of just plain knit rows in between. There are an insane amount of stitches. There's 500 and some stitches right now. So it's very large, but it's so much fun. I did bring my temperature blanket to show y'all. I just got caught up today because I did not take it to Texas. So I had to get caught up. I was doing 2 days worth of stripes every day to try to get caught up. Oh, I didn't show, this is in a bag from Mountain State Stitches, the anthology throw. And then my temperature blanket is in a bag from Bags by Awesome Granny. Super large bag. It needs it though. It's getting pretty big. So I am caught up. I added in yesterday. I'm good to go. Back up here. So this, I've had some people ask what a temperature blanket is. There are so many different ways you can do it. For me, I'm doing the high of every day, the high temperature for the area that I live in. I've assigned different yarns to different temperature ranges, and you can see more details on the project, all of that over on my Ravelry project pages, and notes on how I'm doing it, because I'm not following a pattern. I just kind of have made it up as I went. But yeah, all the details are over there, and there's also an episode linked where I talked in more detail about the project. But I just thought I would show you August so far, since we are halfway through the month. You can see my eyelets there. That's the start of August. And then this is August. Yesterday I got to go into this turquoisey color here because the high was 71, and that is the range for 70 to 74. So I am enjoying it, and it is so big now. It's been nice because the mornings and evenings have been getting a little cooler, so it's been nice when I sit out in the mornings on the patio and work on this, that it now covers my entire legs. It's very nice. It's gonna be so nice sitting out there this fall working on it. Okay, that's it for what I've been working on. I do have some purchases and things that have arrived in the mail. So let's see here. Let's talk first about what I've purchased. So I did purchase, I'll just show this because it's sitting right here, yarn for my next prayer shawl. Since I'm so close to being done with the one I'm working on, I went by Joann's and picked up some more of the Big Twist yarn. This color is Fig. So I picked that up. It's all ready to go. I have my pattern. I did end up knitting up a little bit of the one that I'm going to start next yesterday. And I'm glad I did, because I ended up having to rip it out and go up a needle size because the fabric, I just didn't like the fabric, and it was going to be too small with the needle size I was using. So I went up a needle size, but this is a free pattern. This is what I'm going to be doing next. It's in black and white, so you can't really tell much, but I just got this off of alicesembrace.org. It is linked on my project page. Just says Grandma Crochet Prayer Shawl is the name of it. And this website has a lot of free knit and crocheted prayer shawls and lap blankets. So I've definitely saved a few of these. I printed out a few as well. So that's what I'll be starting next. What else? Purchases. Okay, so when I was in Fort Worth, I had no plans to go to a yarn store. I did go to West 7th Wool last year, and I loved the yarn store. The trip was just a little different this time. Eric had to work every day. I am not somebody to venture out by myself, especially in a downtown area or anything like that. So I was content just to stay at the hotel, sit and do nothing. It was really, really amazing. So yes, I had no plans to go to a yarn store at all. I mean, I hadn't even used all the yarn from last year. So I'm like, yeah, I definitely do not need to go buy more yarn. But one evening, Eric, myself, and two of Eric's coworkers were walking to dinner in downtown Fort Worth from our hotel. And Eric, we were waiting to cross the street, and Eric's like, is that a yarn store? I can't remember exactly what it says. Is that a yarn store? Or I think there's a yarn store up there. And you could see the sign, and it had a ball of yarn on it. And I was like, what? There's a yarn store? There's a yarn store this close to our hotel, and I did not know this. And turns out it's new. It's only been open for 4 months. They have a section of yarn, and then I would say like the majority of the store is art supplies, paints, pencils, like stuff like that. But I did find some yarn to purchase. I was like, do I go in? Do I not go in? And Eric and his coworkers were like, just go in. Go. We will go get a table. The restaurant's only 2 doors down. So I went in and I found some things. So I have always wanted to try Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. They had such a good selection of it. So I grabbed these 2 skeins. The colorway is Artifact. Look at that green. I'm going to do a hat. And I can't wait. I just need to decide on a pattern. If you have any suggestions, let me know below. It is a worsted weight yarn. I think it's going to make a great hat for the Ohio winters. It is American Tarhi Columbia wool. There's 140 yards per skein. Then I also grabbed West 7th wool yarn. They were just putting it out. They had just gotten it in, were putting it out, and I grabbed this one. So this is the Earl Grey colorway on their Hunter's sock base. It's 437 yards, 70% superwash merino, 30% nylon. These will probably end up being for Eric, maybe for me. I'm not sure. These would make a great muscle brat, wouldn't they? Or wouldn't this? Maybe that's what it needs to be. I've been wanting to knit one of those. It's been so long. I did so many of them, and now I haven't knit one in forever. So I don't know. This would make a great muscle brat. Now I can't decide. I was just going to do socks with them. So that was my purchase from the yarn store that I stumbled across in Texas. So I did receive the August Yarnable box. It might have been like the day before I left to go to Texas. And if you are new here, you've never heard me talk about Yarnable, never heard of it. It is a yarn subscription box. I've been getting this for quite a few years now, and I look forward to it every month. Right now I'm trying to knit the yarn up in the month that I receive it. So I need to get this started since we heard August 16th. So Yarnable, you can customize. They have so many different options for yarns, like combinations that you can get, like DK or fingering, 1 skein, 2 skein, contrast skeins with it. So many different options. They are not open to new subscribers all the time. So if you head over and they are not open, just put your email address in and they will email you when spots become available. You always get a little card in your package that tells you a little bit about the box, the inspirations, has a QR code for you to learn more about stuff in the box. And then there's always a scratch off discount code for Hypnotic Yarn, which is the dyer that puts Yarnable together. So August theme is Grow with the Flow. It says be like a sunflower, so even on the darkest days, you will stand tall and find the sunlight, which I love. So all of the extras in this month's package are by Monster Knits. We have a slap bracelet ruler that has sunflowers on it. Very cute. And then we have buttons, wooden buttons. And a needle minder. I will have to put this either with my English paper piecing or my cross stitch. I can't decide which project I want to put that with. Those are the extras. And then the yarn. And I've already seen this once, which I already opened this, but I had already seen it and I've seen it knit up now and oh man, it's gorgeous. So pretty. So there's the Yarnable logo. And here is the yarn, inspired by sunflowers. The colorway name is Grow with the Flow. I get 1 skein of the fingering weight. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. And this is on the plush sock base, which is an 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon, 437 yards. Very pretty. So yeah, I have my Swift and Winder over here. I'm going to take this upstairs. I've got to cake this up, and I also need to cake up my Patreon minis from a Homespun House so I can get those going in my DK weight jelly roll. Got to get this August knitting done. I will also have down below a coupon code for Yarnable that will get you, I don't know why I'm blanking right now. I think it's $5 off of your first Yarnable box. I'll put that down below. I don't know why I'm blanking on what I think it's $5 off, but the code will be listed down below. All right. What else, you guys? What else? So did I bring, what did I do with it? Have I shown you guys the August row 1 minis? Did I put them in the bag already? I don't even remember if I've shown them to you. I did receive my row 1 minis for August. I don't think I've shown them, but I am going to start adding them to my DK weight jelly roll, so you'll see them then. I apologize that I forgot to show them. Row 1 is another yarn subscription service that I get every month, and it's different minis. There's 10 10-gram minis. I'll make sure I show that next time because I am going to start adding them in probably today. You guys, here they are. I had tucked them down inside another package that came so that they didn't get pushed aside over here. So let me pull them out real quick. Like I was saying, row 1 is a mini skein subscription service. There's always a little package in here that has some goodies. Got some candies this time. Yum, tea candy, classic iced tea. I have never tried that, anything like that. I love iced tea. Then you always have a little stitch marker. It's a fan. Can you see that? How perfect for August when it's so humid. You always have a sheet of paper that tells you about the dyer for the month and also has a list of the colorway names, tells you about the base that it's on, a little bit about the business. This I love because it has introduced me to so many new yarn dyers, and you get to try out their yarns, see their colorways, you know, work with the base a little bit and see what you think. So this is Heathered Handmaids is the yarn dyer for this month. I'm going to leave these in the package because I always like to do that. It's easier to work from the bag. So I'll just hold them up to see. But like I said, I'm going to put these in my DK weight jelly rolls so you'll get to see them worked up very soon. But these are beautiful. I love this one. Ooh, and that one. This one is freshly cut. That green. Just been loving the greens. So yeah, so pretty. Lots of like fall-ish colors in here. Very, very nice. Okay, so I'm going to start working on those hopefully today. The other thing that I received in the mail is a package from Midwest Stitches. She sent over some project bags for us to use as giveaways, for prizes for summer sock camp, anything like that. So we've got, let's see, some zipper and some drawstring bags. So this fabric, we have one zipper and one drawstring. They are nice boxed bottom bags and the perfect size for socks. I love when the bag is a little smaller for my sock projects because you really don't need that much room for just like one skein of yarn and your socks. This one is so, so cute. Watermelon with the little, looks like jeans on the bottom. It's perfect. Then we have two Sock Madness bags. One drawstring and one zipper. So we're going to use, she told me to, you know, keep one for myself if I wanted and then use some for giveaways or prizes. So we are going to do just that. We're actually going to do a giveaway for this one today because I think since it's August, watermelon, let's do the giveaway for this one. Just so, so pretty. I love the inside of that one as well. So I will link all of these shops that I've talked about down below. We'll do a giveaway for this one on this episode. I will draw the winner next time. All that you have to do is comment down below. Any comment will enter you to win. It is open worldwide. And I'll pick the winner from those comments next episode. So thank you so much for sending these over. It's always so fun to use, get to share different shops and share their makes and then get to give back to y'all for watching and following along. Was that it? I think that was it. The only other thing I've purchased is I did order some charm packs for English paper piecing, 2.5 inch charm packs. I will share those as I work on the items, though. There are some Christmas and some fall ones that I ordered. I'm having way too much fun with that. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for the knitting today. Watching, I think we only have 1, maybe 2 episodes left of Justified, the older episodes. We have not started the new season yet. We wanted to finish all of those because I had never seen all of them. I'd seen bits and pieces. So we are almost done. Almost. So that's all we've been watching. That's it. Reading. I finished 2 books. So I finished On the Way to Fort Worth. I finished The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Very good. This one I was unsure about, I'm going to be honest. So when I started this one, I thought this is really good so far. It's giving me kind of creepy vibes. And then it got in the middle and I was like, what is happening? I don't like this. This is not, I just wasn't enjoying the parts of the middle. And then there were so many twists towards the end that I ended up really liking it. So I would say it's worth a read if you're into the thriller, suspense, psychological type books. You would probably like it. The next one I started once we got to Fort Worth, is The House We Grew Up In by Lisa Jewell. Not my normal thriller kind of a book, but oh my gosh, I could not put it down. I loved this book so much. It is about a family and there is a tragedy that happens in the family, and it just goes through how it affects each of them, and there's problems that the mother has, and it goes through how that affects each of them. I highly recommend this one. If you have read some of Lisa Jewell's book, from what I gathered from the reviews of this is not the typical kind of book that she writes. I could be wrong on that. This was just what some of the reviews said. So this is not coming from me. I've not read a lot of her books, but I think I would read this one again. It was very, very good. I am still reading Apples Never Fall. I didn't take this one to Fort Worth because I just took my Kindle. I'm an overpacker, so I'm surprised I didn't take it because I took everything else I own. But I did not take this one, so I had a week where I was not reading it. I'm about halfway done with it, and I'm really enjoying it. Again, it's not like my normal kind of read, but I've read some of her books before, Big Little Lies. I can't remember what the other one was, and really enjoyed them. It has great character development in that book, and The House We Grew Up In did as well. It really dug into the characters and developed them, and you got to know each of them, and it made it so good. So that's kind of Apples Never Fall is doing the same thing, and it's making me want to read more books like that. I tend to just go straight for the psychological thriller, suspense type books, and these two are making me want to get back into reading more kind of books that I used to. I'll still always read my thrillers because I love a good thriller, but yeah, I've really been enjoying that one. I'm reading that one. It's a paperback and I'm reading it before I go to bed. Then on my Kindle right now, I'm reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager and really enjoying it. I'm not super far into this one, maybe 20%, but I'm enjoying it so far. That one is a suspense kind of a book, but it's been good so far. I think that's kind of it. It is the Texas trip was great. I've talked a bit about that throughout, but the Texas trip was great. It was so nice to just relax. And then we came back and it was like settle back into a routine and get the kids ready for back to school because today was the first day of school. Oh, this one was a tough one for me. This was the first day that they are both in high school. Wyatt is a freshman now. Austin is a junior. So they are both in high school now. And then this was also the first day that I did not have at least one child to drop off. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself this morning. There were tears shed. I will not lie. There were tears shed. I held myself together until they left. But then there were tears. I just feel like the time has just flown by and it just seems to be going quicker. And yeah, I'm in this new season, and with each season comes tears, but there's also many joys, you know, and I don't forget those, and I'm thankful for those. But yeah, this one hit me this morning, that they are both in high school and I did not have a child to drop off, and I don't have to do pickup today because Austin drives. That was a weird one for me to realize that I didn't, and I realized it at the end of last year because I remember thinking this is the last day. Probably. I mean, there may still be times where I have to drop off and pick up, but this is the last day when Wyatt was in middle school that I will do drop off and pick up. This is it. This is the last time. And I remember that, and I shed tears last year over it, but I had kind of not thought about it all summer until they went to leave this morning, and it was like, wow, I do not have to leave the house this morning to drop someone off. I will not have to go pick someone up later. That's just a weird feeling. I'm sure if you're a parent, you understand that, but it's weird. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. As much as I hated the traffic in the mornings for pickup or for drop off, and then the traffic in the afternoon for pickup. Those are some great times in the car with your kids when you get to talk about their day and all of that. So it's weird. It's a different season here. Going to take me a bit to settle into this new season. But I think that's it. I am going to clean up. I'm looking around and I have like quite a mess here today. I don't know. Podcasting can usually be a mess, but I feel like today I've just like there's stuff everywhere. So I'm going to get cleaned up. What time is it? About 11:43. I need to have some lunch. I'm hungry. And maybe I'll get some knitting done this afternoon. It really feels so weird to not be like kind of orienting my day around times that I have to get kids dropped off and picked up, and it's bizarre. It is bizarre. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to comment down below and enter for the giveaway for the Midwest Stitches watermelon bag. If you want to head over and join the YouTube memberships, I will put a link for that right down below this video in the description box, or you can go to the membership tab here on YouTube. I would love to have you over there. There's one extra video every week over there for the members, usually on a Monday. I've done, I think, it hasn't been open for very long. I've done one other day in the life vlog. It was like a weekend vlog. And then we have the Facebook group, depending on which level you choose. All the details over on the membership tab. But yeah, we would love to have you over there. It's been a lot of fun to get to know everyone on a bit more of a intimate kind of level within the group and get to chat with everyone over there. So all right, that's it. I'm gonna go cake up some yarn after I clean up this mess too. Get these started. They're so pretty. I don't know if they should be for Eric or for me. All right, I'm gonna stop talking now. Thank you guys for joining me. I will see you next week. Until then, happy making. Bye.